जय नरसिंहा श्री नरसिंहा जय जय श्री नरसिंहा प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मा मुख पद्म भृङ्गा
Hare Krishna to everybody, all the viewers, and welcome to our Sunday program. We have our usual events, but I just wanted to set the theme and to make you appreciate why this Sunday program is so important. In 2 weeks' time, we're having the great celebration, wonderful celebration of Nrsimha Jayanti. That will be on Tuesday, 25th of May. And to prepare for that, this week, and I believe next week, our guest speaker is His Grace Raghupati Das, and he will be speaking about Nrsimhadev. And Nrsimhadev's appearance we owe to the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And his famous quotation to his father when his father asked him, what's the best thing you've learned? You go to school, I sent you to Gurukul, what's the best thing you've learned? And this is the famous answer by Prahlad Maharaj. He said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So he's saying, he's listing the 9 processes of devotional service, and the first 2 are Shravanam and Kirtanam, then Vishnu Smaranam. So these 3 at the top are to listen on spiritual matters, then to speak on spiritual matters, and then to meditate on spiritual matters, remembering them, meditating. So just to emphasize, I read something really nice this morning from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text 7, where it is saying, simply by giving oral reception, simply by listening to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So these things arise in us, this loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, by oral reception, Shravanam, the first bhakti of the 9 quoted by Prahlad Maharaj. So that's just getting us in a mood for Nrsimha Jayanti in 2 weeks' time, and to make you also appreciate the importance of you all tuning in every Sunday and listening, watching watching the different videos and devotees speaking, and now we also every Sunday we see Srila Prabhupada, which is beautiful, and the guest speakers, so these things are wonderful. So today program is packed with Prabhupada Aarti done by our own Pujari, Sachidanand Prabhu, and the Aarti being sung by Ishani Devi Dasi and family. After that, we'll have our Prabhupada appreciation moment, where it'll be a class in Hindi by Srila Prabhupada. Then it's our bhajan and kirtan slot, with various singers, Aki, Anil, Prabhu, Mrs. Roy, and Sudarshan. So that's a packed moment there. And that will be followed by singing of Jai Radha Madhav and class on Nrsimhadev by His Grace Raghupati Prabhu. Then at 6 o'clock, we'll have Goro Aarti, sung by Shavan Prabhu and family, and then the Kirtan, and then it's Titikshan family, okay? And then we finish with announcements. So Hare Krishna, let us go to the temple and honor Srila Prabhupada. Ishani Devi, we can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, is that clear now, Prabhuji? Is it audible?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Keval Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Keval Bhakati Sadma. Vandamoi Savadhan Mate Vandamoi Savadhan Mate Jahara Prasade Bae E Bhav Toriya Ja Jahara Prasade Bae E Bhav Toriya Ja Krishna Prapti Hoy Jai Hoy Te Krishna Prapti Hoy Jai Hoy Te Gurumukha Padma Vakya Chitite Koriyo Akhya और ना करियो मन आशा और ना करियो मन आशा श्री गुरु चरण रति ऐसे उत्तम गति जे प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्म जन्मे प्रभु जय चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जयते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अगमज नर बंधु लोके ना लोके राजीवाना प्रभु करो दया देहो मोहे पद चाय प्रभु करो दया देहो मोहे ए बीजा श्री शुक्ति भुवाना दुई पदाले लोए शरण श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय गौर निताय गौर गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you very much, Ishani Devi and family. Wonderful as always with your sweet voice. And now we'll go to our Prabhupada appreciation moment. And this time, once again, we're having a class by Srila Prabhupada in Hindi. I hope you enjoyed it last week, and let's see what we have to offer this week. So please roll the video, Sudarshan Prabhu.
So, my dear boys and girls, about 6 years ago, I came to your country single-handed with these pair of symbols. Now, you are so many chanting Hare Krishna. That is my success. Lord Chaitanya desired that in all the towns, in as many towns and villages as they are on this globe, my name will be broadcast. My plan was, if I can convince the younger generation of America, they will take up. I am an old man. I came here at the age of 70 years. Now I am 76. So, my warning is already there. In 1971, I had a severe heart attack. You know all. So, the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now in your hand. If you kindly take this Krishna consciousness movement seriously, your country will be saved and the whole world will be saved. So these boys are helping me. They should come forward, younger generation of India, they should join this movement and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is India's business. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bharat bhumite manusya janma hailo ja, janma sarthak kari karo paropakar.
My goodness, that was a super video, absolutely super. You know, we can spend the rest of this program just talking what Prabhupada said in that video. And you did notice how right in the beginning he was so choked up, you know, he was so emotional when he was speaking. He couldn't believe how successful his mission had become from the journey he started. You know, when he was 70 years old, you know, he was only, you know, he reached the shores of America when he was 70 years old. And just a single person, a single man, with just, what did he say, a pair of karatals. And the mission, and he struggled for many, many months, he struggled. And then he decided something new. He went to a local park in New York and just started doing kirtan on a Sunday. He started just doing kirtan. And slowly people gathered around him. And that kirtan became popular. And there's some of the old films you see, the black and white, you see Prabhupada sitting in the park. And there's all these hippie-looking people, you know, from Americans, you know, singing and dancing the Mahamantra around him. It's amazing, amazing how where it started and you know where we are now. It's incredible. So Prabhupada ki jai, you know, oh, what a powerful video that was. I really enjoyed it. My mistake, I think it was cutting and paste when in the agenda. Obviously it wasn't in Hindi, it was in English. So that might be just running on from last week. We'll go over our bhajan and kirtan session now. We got, you know, Aki, Anil, Mrs. Roy, Sudarshan lined up. So Aki will kick off first. So over to you, Aki and Anirudh, okay? Thank you. Make sure you're unmuted. We can't hear you. Sudarshan, make sure. Keep speaking, keep chanting Hare Krishna, and let's sort the sound problem out, okay? Okay, you're definitely unmuted. Okay. Yes, you are, okay. So Sudarshan, we have a sound problem.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So Mata, you might have to disconnect the audio and rejoin.
Yeah, but shall we do the next person while this happens?
Yeah, Prajji, yeah, that's... Yeah.
Is Anil ready? Aki, did you hear that? Aki, we like you to log out, log back in. But in the meantime, we'll go to the next singer. So you'll be number 2, okay? Anil Prabhu, are you there, Anil Prabhu? He's logged in, definitely. So if he can, there he is, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anil Prabhu.
Krishna Kanaya Lal Ki Jai.
Hey.
Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram Ramanarayanam Janaki Vallavam. कौन कहते हैं भगवान है आते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान है खाते नहीं, वीर शबरी की जैसे खिलाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम। कौन कहते हैं भगवान, कौन कहते हैं भगवान है सोते नहीं, माँ यशोदा की जैसे सुलाते नहीं। कौन कहते हैं भगवान है नाचते नहीं, गोपियों की तरह तुम न जाते नहीं। अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा, जय राधा माधव राधे। जय सच्चिनंदन जय हो निताई चांद, जय हो सच्चिनंदन जय हो निताई चांद। जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान, जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव। जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज। जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद। जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर निताय गौर। कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, श्री राधा माधव की जय, श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, श्री सच्चिदानंद निताय चांद की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, श्री गोपाल की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद हरि बोल।
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Anil Prabhu. You stepped in nicely and you sang very nicely also. You look so nice. I love the pictures behind you of Radha Shyam Sundar. Thank you. So over to Aki and Anirudh. I hope you need to unmute. Okay, thank you.
Haribol Prabhu, can you hear me this time?
Excellent. We can hear you now. So over to you.
Haribol. Ohe Vaishnava Thakur Dayaro Sagoro Edase Koruna Kori Vaishnava Thakur Dayaro Sagoro Edase Koruna Kori Diya Padu Chaya শুধু হে আমারে দিয়া পদ ছায়া শুধু হে আমারে তোমার চরণ ধরে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এদাসে করুণা করি ছয় বেদমে ছয় দোষ শোধি ছয় গুণ দেহ দাসে ছয় বেগদমে ছয় দোষ শোধি ছয় গুণ দেহ দাসে ছয় শত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমারে ছয় শত সঙ্গ দেহ হে আমারে বসেছি সঙ্গের আসে একাকি আমার নাহি পায়ে বল হরিনাম সংকীর্তনে একাকি আমার নাহি পায়ে বল হরিনাম সংকীর্তনে তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া তুমি কৃপা করি শ্রদ্ধা বিন্দু দিয়া দেহ কৃষ্ণ নাম ধনে কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমারও শপথি আছে কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমারও শপথি আছে আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি তাই তব পাছে পাছে আমি তো কাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি তাই তব পাছে পাছে বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এদাসে করুণা করি বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়ার সাগর এদাসে করুণা করি হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে হরি বল
Hari Bol, Aki and Anirudh. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. So Anirudh, you're looking very smart there. How old are you, Anirudh?
8.
8, okay. So you know, Anirudh, children love to have heroes. They're like superheroes, maybe here's some character, I don't know, Superman, Spider-Man, whatever. They like to have heroes. But I like to suggest to all the children that there is this thing called Narsingh Jayanti coming up very soon. It's a beautiful festival. And there's a hero in that pastime. And he's a young child like you. His name is Prahlad Maharaj. I would like to request all the children, try and make Prahlad Maharaj your hero. Okay? And make him your leader. He's a great leader. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Haribol. So next on the list we have Mrs. Roy. I hope that's correct. Is that correct? Yeah. And also Sudarshan, your name's also there. It's occasionally what happens. Sometimes there's a runover from the previous week's agenda. So.
Yes, Guruji, and Mrs. Y is next.
All right. So is she getting ready?
I don't know, but I'm requesting.
All right. If you can chase that up.
Yeah.
Chase that up. So you know, I keep thinking about that video we saw of Srila Prabhupada. It was quite touching and beautifully done. And right at the end, what Prabhupada is saying that, you know, he's done his bit, but now he wants the, you know, the mission to continue. He's left that in the hands of the American devotees. Anyway, we are so pleased to see Mrs. Roy once again. You'll have to unmute yourself, Mrs. Roy. Thank you very much. And we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, Sri Gaurango.
Jai. Over to you.
Yeah. Monde kona gohur kota monore ko na gohur kota gohur name Omiya dame gohur name Omiya dame piriti muroti data piriti muroti data monore ko na gohur kota soyone gohur sopone gohur gohur noyoner tara soyone gohur sopone gohur gohur নয়ন তারা মনরে কো না গৌর কথা জীবনে গৌর মরণে গৌর জীবনে গৌর মরণে গৌর গোহর গলার হার জীবনে গৌর মরণে গৌর গোহর গলার হার হিয়ারো মাঝে গৌরাঙ্গ রাখিয়ে হিয়ারো মাঝে গৌরাঙ্গ রাখিয়ে বিরলে বসাইব হিয়ার মাঝে গৌরাঙ্গ রাখিয়ে বিরলে বসাইয়ার মনরে কোনা গৌর কথা মনের সাধনে সেই রূপ চাঁদে নয়নে নয়নে তব মনর সাদেতে সেই রূপ চাঁদের নয়নে নয়নে তাব গৌরবিনে না বাঁচিব পরাণে গৌরবিনে না বাঁচিব পরাণে গৌর করেছি সার গৌরবিনে না বাঁচিব পরাণে গৌর করেছি সার গৌর বলিয়া যাক জীবন গৌর বলিয়া যাক জীবন কিছু না চাইব আর গৌর বলিয়া যাক জীবন কিছু না চাইব আর মনরে গৌর গৌর গমন গৌর গঠন গৌর গমন গৌর গঠন গৌর মুখের আছি গৌর মুখের আছি গৌর প্রীতি গৌর মূরতি গৌর প্রীতি গৌর মূরতি ইয়া রহিব পচি হিয়ায় রহিব পচি মনরে কো না গৌর কথা গৌর দরম গৌর করম গৌর বেদসার গৌর দরম গৌর কম করম গৌর বেদসার গৌর চরণে পরানো সপিনু গৌর চরণে পরানো সবিনু গৌর করিবে পার গৌর করিবে পার মনরে কোনা গৌর কথা গৌর শব্দ গৌর সম্পদ যাহার হিয়ায় জাগে গৌর সম্পদ গৌর শব্দ যাহার হিয়ায় জাগে হরিদাস দাসের দাস হরিদাস নর হরিদাস তাহার দাসের দাস নর হরিদাস তাহার দাসের দাস চরণে শরণ মাগিনু নর হরিদাস তার দাসের দাস চরণে শরণ মাগিনু মনরে কোনা গৌর কথা হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে মনরে কোনা গৌর কথা মনরে কোনা গৌর কথা হরি বল। Hari
Hari Bol, Mrs. Roy, sweet as ever, absolutely sweet as ever. Thank you so much.
You understand?
Pardon?
Understand?
No, you didn't send us the translation. You should have sent us a translation. Yes, your daughter, Sweetie, should have sent translation. But it was just so sweet, even with the understanding. I was so moved by it. And then, well done, Sudarshan and the team for lining up our deity darshan at the same time. 2 days darshan is amazing. So brilliant.
Thank
You want to explain briefly?
No,
Okay. Time is short, Mrs. Roy. Time is short because we got a great class coming up with Raghupati. But next time I would like you to sing this again another day. But we'll have an explanation. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Both Sundar. Now finally we go over to Sudarshan for his little bhajans kirtan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So I'll be singing Yashamati Nandan today.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Prajnatachan ki jai.
Jai.
Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Gokula Janakana. Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Gopi Parana Dhana Madhana Manohara Gopi Parana Dhana Madhana Manohara Kaliya Dhamana Vidhana Kaliya Dhamana Vidhana Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Amala Harina Mami Abhilasha Vipina Purantana Navina Nagara Bara Bhamsi Vajana Suvasa Vipina Purantana Navina Nagara Bara Bhamsi Vajana Suvasa Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Gokula Kana Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Gokula Brajajada Palana Asura Puranasana Brajajada Palana Asura Puranasana Ananta Godhana Rakovala Govinda Madhava Navnita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navnita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Gokula Kala Yashamati Nandana Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Asarasita Pavoya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nathavara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nathavara Bhakati Vinodashraya Yashamati Nandana Brajavana Nagara Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Sachidandan, Jaya Nitai Jaya Sachidandan, Jaya Nitai Jaya. Jaya Sachidandan, Jaya Nitai Jaya Sachidandan, Jaya Nitai Jaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Sajidai Chand ki jai.
Thank you very much, Sudarshan and family, but I was missing the voice of Titiksha. I think she's saving herself for the main aarti, right? She's saving herself for the main aarti. Okay, well, we look forward to that. She's done and she's slotted down to sing the main aarti today. So thank you. And thank you, Sudarshan, for handling of the, the control room functions behind the scenes. I'm surprised you had time to pull away and do a song. So thank you. Okay, back to the control room. And our guest speaker, Raghupati, has joined us. So it's over to him now for today's class and next week's class, and which will be focusing on Narsingha Dev. And it's, so just to bring him in, please, Sudarshan.
Yes, Guruji, Raghupati Pro is on. Yeah.
He is on, yes. I see his name. He's definitely there. So we can just bring him in. So Raghupati, if you unmute yourself and turn on your video. You need to turn on your video also, Raghupati. Yay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, welcome to our
Hare Krishna, bro.
And I must say, you picked an amazing background there.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, oh, I love it. Looks like you got the blessings of Shukdev Goswami there.
Yeah.
You're in the
nice
right assembly of great Mahatmas there.
Yeah, it's some nice katha is going on there.
Absolutely. So over to you for glorification of Narsingha there this week and next week.
Thank you, bro.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so is Sudarshan who is on?
He's controlling. He's the controlling.
Controlling Sudarshan. Okay, Sudarshan, can you put Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So you can, if you can put that sloka on here. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakya Chakshulmiltamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthaptamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Supadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shurupam Sagrajatam Sahaga Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Din Bandhu Jagate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastate Tapti Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwahana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalptarubhaya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Guru Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so Sudarshan says that we should sing Radha Madhav. So we'll quickly sing Radha Madhav and then move on to the class. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajijana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajijana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajijana Ranjana Yashodanandana ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल यमश्बात परमहंस प्रवादिकाचार्य चतुर्दशी श्रीमद् कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति ऐसी भक्तिमान महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री नृसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्री नृसिंह चतुर्दशी महामहोत्सव की जय गौर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. We are very fortunate to have this opportunity to remember this very merciful incarnation of Lord Shri Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev is one of the 10 incarnations described in the Gita Govindam of Jayadev Goswami. In Iskcon we sing this bhajan of the prayer every day. Tavu kare kamale vare nakam adbhuta shrangam dalit hiranyakashiputan bhrangam keshav dheta narhari rupa jai jagadish hare jai jagadish hare jai jagadish hare. So one time there was a great danger in Iskcon, and Prabhupada asked the devotees to sing this prayer. So Lord Nrsimhadev is protecting Iskcon, he is protecting the devotees, and today we are going to hear that how he protected his topmost devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj is considered the topmost devotee of Nrsimhadev. What we're going to do, we just read some of his teachings here, and then we'll reflect on the life of Shri Prahlad Maharaj, and his relationship with his father and his father's behavior, and eventually the slaying of Hiranyakashipu and appearance of Lord Nrsimha. So let's start with the shloka, which is on the screen here. Shri Prahlad Uvacha. This is one of the most famous verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this describes the ninefold Novida Bhakti very beautifully in a summary. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Punsarpita Vishnu Bhaktis Chainavalakshana Kriyet Bhagavatiyadha Tanmanyadhitam Uttamam. So we'll read the translation here. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. How beautiful. So we'll just read a little part of the purport and then come to our discussion. When Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father to say something from whatever he had learned, he considered that what he had learned from his spiritual master was the best of all teachings, whereas what he had learned about diplomacy from his material teachers, Shand and Amar, was useless. Bhakti pareshan bhavo viraktir anyatra cha. This is the symptom of pure devotional service. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. To execute devotional service, one should always engage in hearing and chanting about Krishna or Lord Vishnu. The process of temple worship is called Archan. How to perform Archan will be explained herein. One should have complete faith in the words of Krishna, who says that he is the Lord, he is the great well-wishing friend of everyone. Suhridam Sarvabhutana. A devotee considers the only Krishna the only friend, and this is called Sakhyam. So then Prabhupada goes on to explain different limbs of Novidha Bhakti. Punsarpita Vishnu. The word Puns means by all living entities, and there are no distinctions permitting only a man or only a Brahmana to offer devotional service to the Lord. Everyone can do so. So we just read part of the purport. There is a long purport to this verse, and we will reflect on some of the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. So, when Diti, the grandmother of Prahlad Maharaj, and the mother of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, realized that actually she had committed a mistake by arousing or by forcing her husband to sleep with her in the period of a very inauspicious period of the evening, when Lord Shiva normally wanders around in the universe with all his ghostly servants. So this is the time when Aditi, driven by lusty desires, she forces Kashyap Muni, her husband, to sleep with her in the inauspicious period in the evening. So Kashyap Muni obliges her, but then he declares, after this, he takes a bath, purifies himself, he chants his Gayatri, and Diti is now very ashamed of what has just happened, that her husband had actually asked her to wait. She wanted a child, and this was the responsibility of Kashyap Muni to give her a child, because her co-wife, Aditi, has got so many illustrious sons, Adityas, Surya Dev, Yamraj, Varun Dev, Indra Dev, and Vaman Dev. So many illustrious sons. So Diti also wanted sons. So there was nothing wrong. But Kashyap Muni asked her to wait, and she did not do so. So then Kashyap Muni said to her that you will have two extremely powerful sons. But they will be both great demons. And they will create so much havoc in this world. But because you have repented, your actions, so due to this repentance, your grandson would be a Mahabhagavata. And his glory will be as great as the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. He will be as glorious as Vishnu himself. So now you can see that whenever we chant the glory of Lord Nrsimha, those glories of Lord Nrsimha are incomplete without the glories of Prahlad Maharaj. So these teachings of Prahlad Maharaj are one of the most important teachings in devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj again and again and again. Because these pastimes, they arouse pure devotional service in our hearts. As many times we hear, they will inspire us to perform pure devotional service, and they will increase our bhakti. So now we come to these teachings. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Krishna is saying, Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pratyaksh Augumam Dharmyam, Susukham Kartumabhyam. So devotional service, this is king of education, Raj Vidya. Raj Guhyam, this is most confidential knowledge. Devotional service is the most confidential knowledge of the scriptures. And Pavitram, this is a purest of knowledge. Idam Uttamam. This is the best knowledge, it's purest of knowledge, this is the most confidential knowledge, this is king of education. Pratyaksh Augamam Dharmyam. And this is directly perceivable. Susukham Kartumabhyam. And when we perform devotional service, this is joyfully performed. So devotional service is not as extraneous or as difficult to perform as other sadhanas or other austerities, like the yogic processes or the way jnanis they worship impersonal Brahman. So this is not so difficult. Impersonal worship of impersonal Brahman, Krishna says, is klesho adaktaras tesham. It's very kastaprad, or it's very troublesome. So now we come to these teachings. One day, when Prahlad Maharaj was in the Gurukul, he comes back, and his father takes him on his lap and smells his head, and then very affectionately he asks Prahlad Maharaj, "My dear son, what did you learn in your Gurukul?" And this is the answer of Prahlad Maharaj. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Nasyam, Sakyam Atmanivedanam. This is the best knowledge I have learned. And first of all, it is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. So Shravanam. Prahlad Maharaj then enumerates, explains the process of Navvida Bhakti to his demoniac father, knowing well that his father may retaliate and even kill him, which he did. He tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj is the topmost devotee. He is also a topmost preacher in Krishna consciousness. Whenever he got an opportunity to preach to his classmates, he would simply preach to them about Krishna consciousness. And his preaching was so powerful that all his friends became devotees. So this caused a big problem in the Gurukul of Shand and Amark, who were sons of Sukracharya. And they complained to Hiranyakashipu that we just don't know who is preaching to your son. But somehow your son is preaching Vishnu Bhakti to his classmates. So this enraged Hiranyakashipu very much. So here we are going to focus on these sublime teachings of Prahlad Maharaj this week. And alongside, we will take some pastimes. In Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Srila Sanatana Goswami describes that Narad Muni is looking for the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. So he goes to many great devotees. He goes to Indradev, he goes to Lord Shiva, then he goes to Prahlad Maharaj. And going to Prahlad Maharaj, up to going to Prahlad Maharaj, he glorifies that how powerful is your position, how exalted is your position, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead took incarnation from a pillar to save you. Therefore, you are the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. Krishnasya dayatu asi. So this is very strange that Prahlad Maharaj's guru, Narad Muni, is praising him to be the greatest of all the devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj found this very unusual, and he refutes it. So amongst all the devotees, Prahlad Maharaj is greatest. So there's no doubt about it. But comparatively, when we look at, then we find that Prahlad Maharaj's position as a devotee is in Shantarasana, Shanta. He is glorifying Krishna in Shantarasana. So higher than the position of Prahlad Maharaj is the position of Hanumanji. Prahlad Maharaj then refutes his glory, and he says that yes, I was merely a child, and out of childish performance of my devotional service, I prayed to the Lord because I had nobody else to turn to. And the Lord took mercy on me, and he appeared from the pillar. He was very affectionate, and he put me on his lap. He smelled my head. But all this devotion was when I was a child. Because after this incident, the Lord disappeared. And now I'm separated from him. So Prahlad Maharaj then considers Hanumanji as greater than him. He says that actually I did not have any opportunity to offer any service because the Lord disappeared. But I considered Hanumanji as a great devotee, as a great devotee, because actually he offered service to Lord Ramchandra. So now we come back to Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. Nevertheless, Narad Muni found out that Prahlad Maharaj is one of the topmost devotee. In his travel and in his mission to establish the ultimate recipient of Krishna's mercy, or the dearmost devotee of Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is one of the Mahajanas, and he is certainly the topmost devotee in Shantarasa. And the process he has given is the standard process of devotional service. By following this process, anyone can become perfect. This is recommended process, and this is authorized by all great acharyas and supported by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's the reason why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj time and time again. Every time you hear this story, it increases our devotional service and our determination to remain fixed in the process of Navadha Bhakti. Shravanam. So hearing is the first of 9 items of devotional service. Shravanam. These processes are so potent that if anyone can engage in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or even 1 of them, their life will become perfect. Example, Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. So he engaged himself 24/7, 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week, just hearing from Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And the result was that before Takshak appeared to annihilate the body of Parikshit Maharaj, his mind has become so fixed that he did not even realize that Takshak had come and burnt him, burnt his body to ashes. He did not even realize because his mind was fixed. So it's not that when Takshak, the bit of Parikshit Maharaj, when Takshak annihilated his body, Parikshit Maharaj felt any pain or any anguish. No. Just by hearing, his mind has become so fixed that other rishis who were assembled there, they were feeling anguish. They were feeling terrible that Takshak has just come and through his a fiery poison and burned the body of Parikshit Maharaj. Just imagine the absorption of Parikshit Maharaj had achieved just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So hearing is important. In our Sampradaya, we follow Shrota Pantha, Shrot, which comes from Shruti, or hearing. So our path is Shruti Pantha or Shrota Pantha, because we hear the scriptures, we hear this transcendental knowledge from the lotus mouth of the great acharyas and from Krishna himself. In Bhagavad Gita, you will find that time and time Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Tachana, just hear, Tachana. So hearing is important. So anyone who develops a taste for hearing the narrations, hearing Krishna's pastimes, hearing Krishna's holy names, hearing about his activities from the devotees, then their life becomes perfect. This was true 5,000 years ago. This is true now, and this will be true in future. Because the process given by Prahlad Maharaj is the standard process, is an eternal process of devotional service. One of the chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam describes that some friends of Prahlad Maharaj asked him, look, you and we study in the same school, same Gurukul, from same teachers. But you seem to have this transcendental knowledge, and we don't. So we just don't understand, how did you gather this knowledge? So Prahlad Maharaj then describes that when his father went to Mandarachal to perform austerities, Indradeva came, thinking that Kayadhu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, wife of Hiranyakashipu, is pregnant, and if Hiranyakashipu is giving us so much trouble, what to say of his son? So the son of the demon is going to be a demon. So therefore, I should go and kill this child so that he won't take birth. Or when he takes birth, I'll just kill him. So Kayadhu was abducted by Indradeva. And she was crying. She was pregnant and crying pitifully. Very pitifully, she was crying. But Indradeva forcibly took her. Narad Muni came to know, he immediately forbade Indradeva. He said, why are you taking this chaste woman forcibly when her husband is not there and she is pregnant? So why are you committing such a heinous sin? So Indra explained that she's pregnant and I want to finish the seed of this demon before he takes birth. Narad Muni said to him, it won't be possible for you or anybody to kill this child, because this child is a great devotee of Vishnu. He is a Mahabhagavat. So you won't be able to kill him. So when Indra came to know that Kayadhu was pregnant with a Mahabhagavat devotee of the Lord, Swayambho Nardo Sambhu, Kumaro Kaplo Manu, Prahlado Janko Bhishma, Vayam Vyasiki, Prahlado Janko Bhishma, Balir Vayasaki Vayam. So Prahlad Maharaj is one of the Mahabhagavatas who know the science of Krishna consciousness, one of the 12 Mahajanas. So as soon as Indradev came to know this, immediately he did parikrama of Kayadhu, because she was carrying Prahlad Maharaj. So now we can understand the quality of Indradev as a devotee. Time to time, he acts as if he is a demon, but he is not. He is a devotee. Time to time, he acts whimsically. So he circumambulated Kayadhu and offered his obeisances to Prahlad Maharaj, who was in her womb. Then he left. Narad Muni then took Kayadhu to his ashram. Now somebody might say that Narad Muni is a brahmachari. He doesn't have any ashram. So where did he take her? So Narad Muni is all powerful. He is an incarnation of Krishna, very powerful. So he created an ashram, and for 100 years of demigods, when Hiranyakashipu was performing austerities in Mandrachal mountain, Narad Muni was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was teaching Kayadhu. But more so, he was teaching the child in her womb. Now, through mystic power, Kayadhu remained pregnant for this 100 years. She was able to keep that child within her womb for 100 years. And once Hiranyakashipu received the boon from Lord Brahma, came home, then Narad Muni brought Kayadhu. So that's why we see that Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old when Nrsimhadev appeared. How could this be? Because Kayadhu was pregnant for 100 years of demigods. So actually speaking, Prahlad Maharaj could have been 105 years old by the time Hiranyakashipu came back home. But he was only 5 years old. And this is the mystic potency of Narad Muni that she was able to keep. Similarly, Diti, when she came to know that her progeny, these two sons in her womb, are going to be creating havoc for demigods and for the entire creation, she herself was so powerful that out of her mystic potency, she kept Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha in her womb for 100 years. And eventually, even if they were in her womb, there were so many havocs and so many inauspicious signs. So even then, she had to give birth. So Prahlad Maharaj then tells his friends that actually, I learned this transcendental science from my spiritual master, Sri Narad Muni, for 100 years. So the effect of learning from Narad Muni, hearing from Narad Muni for 100 years, while remaining in the womb of his mother, Prahlad Maharaj became the greatest devotee of Krishna, of Vishnu. So hearing Shravanam is very powerful. Then Kirtanam. So Kirtanam, one of the most famous examples of Kirtanam is Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami was so renounced that as soon as he took birth, Sukadeva Goswami remained in the womb of his mother for 16 years. Not like Prahlad Maharaj, who was there for 100 years. Now, to some people, this may look very fairy tales. that they may think, okay, now this is just fairy tale. Nobody can remain in the mother's womb for 100 years, for 16 years. But this is fairy tale. This can't be true. So people who do not understand the variegatedness of Krishna's creation, they would say so. Even if you observe that in the material creation, different species of life keep the child in the womb for different time periods. So the wives of the demigods, they keep the child for certain time period. That's different from the earthly planet. And even in the earthly planet, we have different species. So human species, human beings. Then we have animals who have different time periods. So the child comes out from the mother's womb in different time periods. For demons, this is instant process. The demons, they have the privilege that they don't keep the child for too long. So as soon as they become pregnant, they give birth to a child. So immediately the child grows up, because demonic species, they don't like to take too long to bring up the child. Child is born and child grows up immediately, and then they carry on their life. So Kirtanam, Shukdev Goswami, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his divine father, Lord Vyasdev, and then he recited Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukdev Goswami, to Parikshit Maharaj. Shukdev Goswami recited to Parikshit Maharaj, and that way Shukdev Goswami perfected his life. So Kirtanam. So these Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. The example of Vishnu Smaranam is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, having heard the Bhagavad Dharma from Narad Muni, became completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, thoughts of Vishnu, Vishnu Smaranam. So because of his intense devotion in Lord Vishnu, he was able to remember him always. Similarly, we see that Narad Muni had a boon from the Lord. He has a benediction that whenever he will play his veena, immediately Krishna will appear. So actually, these boons are available to all of us. The boon of Shravanam, perfecting our life by hearing about Krishna, Kirtanam, perfecting our life by glorifying the Lord, Vishnu Smaranam, remembering the Lord. So all these processes are available to us. And in Iskcon, we follow the process of Bhagavad Vidhi, Bhagavad Dharma, and Pancharatrik Vidhi, worshipping the deity with the method given by Sri Narad Muni. So we have covered 3 processes this week, and we'll carry on next week. Any question or comment? It's already 6 o'clock. So please, yeah, if you have any question or comment, you can put it on the...
Yeah, Sudarshan has put something there. He said, my question is that people could argue that this Leela took place many yugas ago, but now in this Kali Yuga and with Maya surrounding us, how can we meditate on the Lord as we may have many jobs and duties that we have to take care of?
This is a very important question Vidar Prabhu has asked.
That's Sudarshan asking. I'm reading it out.
Okay, so you're reading out. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So this is Sudarshan's question. It's important question, Sudarshan. And how can we do it? So in Kali Yuga, we are living in the modern age where everything is fast. So we have smart, everything is smart and fast. We have smartphones, smart computers, smart everything. So in Kali Yuga, we also have the smart devotional service. Mahaprabhu has made everything fast. Everybody likes things fast. So in Kali Yuga, we have this fast process. Everything has been put in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when we chant, we can purify our mind and be able to remember Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that don't worry too much if you cannot remember Krishna, because by chanting process, Nam, Gun, Leela will appear in due course. So even Krishna's pastimes will appear in due course. So all we have to do just chant. So this chanting process that Mahaprabhu has given is very, very powerful. Now, what can we do when we are engaged in jobs, studies, driving, or going to work? Chanting. So devotee chant. Prabhupada recommends that even when we are passing through the subways or walking on the roadsides, we just chant. So normally in the holy dham, you see devotees always carrying their bead bags. In the Western countries, we can carry chanting bead if you want to, but if not, then some devotees chant on fingers. So I chant on fingers, and some devotees keep the clickers, whatever may be, or even if there's nothing there, you can chant. Once, out of some previous karma, a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was imprisoned by Prataprudra Maharaj. So Mahaprabhu came to know that such and such devotee has committed some karma in the past, or some sinful activity in the past, and some crime, and he has been imprisoned. So Mahaprabhu said, okay, tell me, what was he doing when he came to the prison house? So they said, Mahaprabhu, he was chanting. Okay, chanting, and then how was he keeping counting? So they said he was chanting on his fingers, and then he was from his nails, he was scratching on his hand, and that way he was keeping the count. And that made Mahaprabhu so happy. And very soon that devotee was released from the prison house of Prataprudra Maharaj. The chanting process is very powerful. We just chant wherever we are going. Of course, we chant attentive rounds, our 16 rounds, but this chanting should go on. Because the world situation is such that we don't know what can happen anytime to anybody. So we just chant. And through chanting, we keep connected. Just like the radio signals. Okay, when you're driving, people are driving, they want to know about the weather, they put radio, BBC Radio 4, and immediately you know what the weather is like, or what the traffic is like. So immediately we are connected through radio waves. So radio wave is nothing but the sound being connected to your car. Okay. So your car is connected to the radio station through the radio wave, the sound vibration. So similarly, when we chant Krishna's holy name, immediately we are connected to the Vaikuntha sound, Vaikuntha Loka, to Golok Vrindavan. So this is what will keep us safe. So Darshan, is that the answer to your question?
He's texted, yes, Prabhu, thank you. Can I just add a point there, Prabhu, that, first of all, we have that famous mantra, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Ram, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastiva, 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 Gatir Anyatha. And in this age of Kali, there is no other way, no other way, no other way but the chanting of the holy names. And as a devotee who's been practicing for so many years now, you become aware of the details of the other yogas, Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, all the other processes. But you suddenly realize this is the easy one. This is the easy one. Others are there, they're not invalid, but they're there, but they're difficult in this day and age. And you go for the easy process. And I'll give you an example of the example you gave. It's a real example. One of my relations, his name was Prajibhai Ladwa. He was in London, and he worked on the subways, the underground, the tube, the underground railway trains. And he was one of the guys, not a driver. So, and those trains are moving very fast between station to station, 2-3 minutes at most, and that But he said, whenever a station came, he would pop out, do his job, make sure all the doors are shut and nobody's left trying to run in or run out of the train. And as soon as that's done, the doors are closing, and he says, Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. He's a Ram Bhakt, Ram devotee. So between stations, he's chanting Sitaram, Sitaram. Between stations, 2-3 minutes he has. But he's doing that all day. He's doing that all day. So, that's a real example of someone saying, that's how I was chanting my, taking the Lord's name while I'm working. So, thank you.
Thank you, Vidyaprabhu. That's really a wonderful story you shared. Hare Krishna. Shil Prabhupada ki jai. Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
And we all look forward to the next installment next week. Okay? We look forward to the next week coming. It is next week, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Thank you. So we'll go over the temple now for the Aarti. Done by Pujari Sachinand Prabhu, and it'll be sung by Shravan Prabhu and Shraddha Devi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
You ready to start?
Very soon. Very soon. Yes, he just blown his conch shell, so you can start.
Jayo Sachinandana Jayo Nitai Chan Jayo Sachinandana Jayo Nitai Chan Nandana Jayo Jayo Sachinandana Jayo Nitai Chan Jayo Sachinandana Jayo Nitai Chan Jayo, Jayo, Gaura Chande, Aroti Kashoba. Jayo, Jayo, Gaura Chande, Aroti Kashoba. Janavi Tata Vane, Jagamanalo. Chhatradara Nikate Adavedasini Vasa Chhatradara Vashi Ache Gaurachan Ratna Singh Sane Vasi Ache Gaurachan Ratna Singh Sane Aroti Kore Na Brahma Adi Devagane Aroti Kore Na Adi Devagane Nara Hari Adi Kori Chamara Dulaya Adi Kori Chamara Dulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gaushadi Gaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gaushadi Gaya Shankha Baje Gantha Baje Baje Kartala Shankha Baje Gantha Baje Baje Kartala Madhura Mardanga Baje Paramarsala Ganga Baje Shankha Baje Gantha Baje Madhu Madhu Madhura Baje Baje Gantha Baje Madhura 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 Shankha Baje Gantha Baje Madhura 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 Baje Shankha Baje Gantha Baje Madhura 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 Hey Madhura 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 Baje Hey Madhura 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 Baje Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol 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 Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujvala Gala Dese Vanamala Kore Jalamala Gala Dese Vanamala Jalamala Shiva Sukhanarada Preme Gadagada Shiva Sukhanarada Preme Gadagada Makati Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Sampada Gaura
Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Saraswati Devi Gaura Bharchadi Devi Vishesha Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasthayine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashatyadeshakarine Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shikasani Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Radha Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Mani Ma Jaya Mani Ma Mani Ma Mani Ma Jaya Mani Sitaram Jaya Baladev, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Shama Sundar Pyare Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Nitya Jaya Nitya Nika Chakra. Nitai Jaya Nimai Nitai 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 Jaya Nimai Nitai Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Gaura 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 Hari Gaura Gaura Hari इसी भक्तियान स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि विष्णु की जय नमाचार हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से गौर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गौर भक्त की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय संगमयम में की जय, भक्ति तुलसी महारानी की जय, प्यार से साई चांद की जय, जगनाबल सद की जय, राधा माधव राधा गोपाल रामकृष्ण की जय, पंचोत्तर की जय, सर्व समन्दान की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, जय गौर प्रेम जय, हरि हरि बोल। August and Buddha, August and Buddha, August Shri Ganga, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you all very much. That was another energetic performance from Titiksha. She's getting used to it now. Thank you, Titiksha. Anyway, well, we'll do Nursing Aarti now. And we want to remember a few names, and there's quite a few names here. We want to start with our leaders. Leaders are so important in our society, and we have lost a couple this last year. The last few, during the COVID period. So it's a terrible loss to the society. So we remember His Holiness Jayapatak Swami, His Holiness P.B. Govind Swami, and the devotees who take care of them. And because of the situation in Bharat, we remember devotees in Mayapur and all other places around Bharat. And generally for all the people in Bharat, they're suffering terribly at the moment. Recently departed souls, we lost His Grace Pankaj Anguri just a few days ago. Then there's my father, Jivan Bhai Vadukul, Guru Mata, Shanti Devi, Shanti Devi Kalia, Savita Ben Chandegra, Mr. Ravi, Renukaji's Masa. Yesterday, a person rang me in the temple requesting can some devotees come and to Wolverhampton to do the cremation of their, I think he said grandmother. Catch his surname. And we explained the story in this period. We are not going out to such events. So it's Mr. Kishore Bhai's grandmother. Other devotees we remember are His Grace Siddha Gopal Prabhu, Renukaji's Masa, Dilip Chandegra, Prem Manjari, Shraddha Devi, Prem Malan, Shalu Mehta, Raju and his family, Bibu Go Prabhu, Rekha Savania, Jayesh Gader, Satya's brother Chalpati Rao, Titiksha's teacher suffering from COVID, Kameshwari Garu, Rita's brothers, one has had operation, one is going to have an operation soon. And Chaitanya Priya, friend of long standing, Philip Ross, he passed away recently. And also Mrs. Roy's son-in-law, John, he had an operation recently. So remember all those people. May Lord Nrsimha extend His blessings to them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Namaste Narasingaya Pranadaladarayine Hiranyakashipu Rakshaha Shilatankalakalaye Yato Nrsimha Parito Nrsimha Yato Yato Yamita Do Nrsimha Hare Nrsimha Hare Nrsimha Madam Sharanam Prapade Tavakarakamalabhare Naga Adbhuta Shringaya Nalita Hiranyakashipu Dhanuvringa Keshavajita Narajirupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadita
Narajirupa Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Prabhupada, 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 Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Narasimhadev ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitya Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Aradhya and family. That was nicely done with that instruments, which is the electric harmonium you were playing, keyboard you were playing. It's nicely done. Thank you very much. Beautiful darshan of the deities. I hope you're all appreciating, And if some of you may have noticed that Chandan Yatra began on Friday, 3 days ago. That was also Akshay Tritiya. The beginning of Chandan Yatra means sandalwood, which has been rubbed to make a pulp out of it, is applied to the lordships, especially in all over Bharat, because May and June are the hottest months, and the lordships, they need to be cooled down, so Chandan is applied to the lordships. So today the Chandan is being applied on the forehead, like on this side and this side, other side of the tilak. You may have noticed. So well done, beautiful. Thank you. And this Chandan Yatra goes on for 21 days. Also, as I mentioned, Friday was Akshay Tritiya. Most people have checked the calendars. Most people did it on Friday 14th. A few did it on the 15th. So we did it on the 14th also. What we did was made a little appeal. And it was a little small appeal. We said, look, this devotee, His Grace Siddha Gopal in Ekka Chakra, saying, look, hardly anyone's traveling, so nobody's visiting the holy dham. And here is a video, and I'll explain what this video is. This is Ekka Chakra video, I believe on actually Akshay Tritiya. So we made a quick appeal. Haridas did, saying, look, this devotee is appealed, and he was suffering, recovering from COVID, barely breathing, but he made an appeal to Haridas saying, please, can you support this dham, because devotees aren't coming, so there's hardly any donation, and and we still could maintain the temples and the goshalas. So we made an appeal, and surprisingly, so many people connected with Ekka Chakra and Lord Nityanand, and they gave generously, and we sent the money over, and it was almost 1,000 pounds, and so we sent almost 1 lakh rupees over, and this devotee was like, couldn't believe that he made this appeal while he's lying in bed, and Haridas made a quick appeal. We didn't really make a massive appeal, but the beautiful thing is that all your devotees connected, love Nityananda Prabhu, connected with his Janmasthan in Ekka Chakra, and you gave generously, and that money went. And this video is showing that Aarti being done on behalf of all the devotees who donated for Akshay Tritiya to Ekka Chakra Dham. So thank you all very much. You really made our day. There's a yagya was done also. A yagya was done also, and also the cows were fed in the Goshala. So perhaps there's a few still shots. Look, there's the picture of the yagya being done, and again, it's the devotees. Our names are being read out. All the devotees who contributed, you can see your names are being read out for this yagya. So it's fantastic. And then the cows are being fed also. So brilliant. So it happened so fast and so almost spontaneously people gave. Wonderful. Thank you all very much. Okay, a few announcements. Coming Friday is appearance day of Sita Devi and Jahanwa Devi, the consorts of Lord Ram and Lord Nityanand Prabhu. Saturday should have been Ekadashi, but because it's not suitable fasting, then Sunday is the Ekadashi, fasting day for Ekadashi, and it's called the Mahadvadashi. So Ekadashi observance is next Sunday. On Tuesday, 25th of May is Nasingha Jayanti. Nasingha Jayanti. So please get ready for that. And we look forward to next week to Raghupati continuing the glorification of Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. We have invited you to our daily evening Aarti Darshans at 7:30. Saturday, Monday to Saturday. Because the Sunday program is Sunday program starting at 4:30, and after the Aarti darshan, we have book reading, and at the moment we're continuing to read Ramayana, but we'll soon switch over to the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where it's all about Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj, and then we'll come back to reading Ramayana. Every Saturday. We don't have a book, the Ramayana reading or the other scripture reading, but we do have a book club, which we are reading. We just started 2 weeks ago. Harinam Chintamani, all about how we should be chanting the holy name. We heard in the program that it's the chanting of the Lord's name which is important in this Kali Yuga. It's chanting very important. So Harinam Chintamani, Haridas Thakur explains how we should be chanting. Beautiful. So please join us at the Saturday's book club every Saturday 5:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Hope you really enjoyed today's program. I certainly did, and we hope you can join us for the evening aartis during the week. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.
प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मा